So, who do we have here? Hi guys. Christopher, Janine.
Hi, hello.
Oh, hello, Emilio, Fernando. Yeah,
Hello.
very international today. I'm glad. Hi.
Hi.
This time Germany is maybe not winning. The German-speaking people. Cool. Yeah, I think because we have a recording on this, we can also start. And if people join later, they can. I think they can catch up with the recording. So let me share my screen. I think Vanessa, I'm a participant. Maybe you can upgrade me. Yes, thank you. So can everyone...
Siamak, you might get pop-up messages if someone wants to join.
Okay.
You have to admit them.
I reject all, okay?
That's what I meant.
Yes. Cool. That's fine. That's fine for me. So you can see my screen, I hope. Great. So let me jump into it directly. So welcome to everyone to our community event. It's the second time we're doing this, and we are doing this every 3 months and hoping to reach our customers. So this meeting is primarily for our existing customers. It's not to tell someone how great Ingenious is or what we want to do in future, but completely for customers and their issues and their information channel. So the community day is all about giving you updates about the last quarter, giving you a preview about what we are currently working on, and then also getting feedback general-wise from you and whatever you feel needs to be discussed. As a reminder for our communication channels we have, so independent of the ticket system you can use, the service desk, and a phone call you always can make, and emails you can always write us. We have our Slack group for everyone in the Partner Marketing Club. If you are not a premium customer who has dedicated Slack channels, also in this Slack workspace, we are every Ingenious employee is available, but we don't have the service level agreements, and there's just the club. The product newsletter, I want to remind you, if you want to sign up to that, every second week you get one email. It's not that we spam you. It's not about sales. It's not about something which is not related to product. It's basically every second week. If there is something which happened in the product landscape of Ingenious, we inform you about this. And the release notes finally are a more direct way, because the release notes, when something happens within the 2 weeks, you will find it in the release notes, and you can look up there if something is there. We also have deprecation notes. So if we are planning to deprecate something, which happens rarely, but it happens, then we inform you in upfront in the product newsletter, but also in the deprecation notes. So the idea is always you can chat with us directly day by day. We inform you about every release as soon as it's released. The product newsletter informs you every other week, and the community day tries to collect all information about 1 quarter. So that's the basic aggregation we are trying to keep. And so we have nothing monthly, as you understood. So we are skipping the monthly. Okay. Today, smaller news, looking back at Q3, looking forward, and then it's like open discussion. Then, yeah, it's up to you what you want us to talk about, what you feel is needed. Something from our side, yes, the pandemic also resulted in some change with the Ingenious team. we decided we don't need a big office anymore. So the office we had, where some of you were with us, we gave it up end of October, and we're moving to Stresemannstraße in Berlin, nearby Potsdamer Platz, into the WeWork. And we are very happy with this choice because it's more dynamic environment. We have like the hybrid approach currently with Ingenious, where I think 80–90% of Ingenious employees are working 100% remote, and 10% to 20% having 1–2 days. No one wants to go every day into the office, and so things changed, and we wanted to manifest that into a new working environment we have. So beginning of January, when you want to visit us and meet us in person, as long as you are vaccinated and you have the 1G, 2G routes, you can join us in the new office. Just some small information. And now I want to go into the real meat of this community day and start with an area of the Advertiser Explorer. And for that, I would give Martin the chance to continue here. Correct, Martin?
Yes, thank you, Siamak. And I also have prepared the demo net to show something in the user interface. But yeah, I can proceed with this slide here from your desk.
But you can also take over the screen. I think everyone is here happy with you presenting something, because it's about the product. It's not about slides.
Great. Then you need to give me the right.
Yeah, I think it is Vanessa who is, or is it me?
I think it's you.
Okay. Now it gets complicated. Participants, Martin, and you will be the host now. And now you can share.
Stop. So. Yeah. First, let me say thank you to Noria, because as far as I remember correctly, most of these improvements based on your feedback. So yeah, thank you, Noria. And yeah, what is that? We have introduced some improvement on the Advertiser Explorer on the partner side, which allows your partner on the platform to restrict the advertiser list by using the relationship status and the promotion country. And from my point of view, the relationship status is one of the more important one, because from now on, or let me say 6 weeks ago, we are able to have a fast track to your advertiser list by applied only advertiser or not applied advertiser, which is a really good improvement, because before it was not possible to restrict this view by the relationship status. And yeah, you can imagine it was a mess to grab the right advertiser, which is currently not in my my list of applications. And so it was hard for the partner to use with the Advertiser to work with the Advertiser Explorer. And I think with this new status filter, it's quite easier. And I will show you this later. And another good improvement based on this improvement is the default tracking link. The idea behind is that we want to lower the entry barrier for partners of tracking implementation, which means the partner should be able to easily grab the default tracking link to start with the with work. And based on the status, not applied or applied, we are able to provide this default tracking link, because the link contains partner or relationship based information. So we are using the relationship status filter to introduce another feature which called the default tracking link. And the third one, we are also providing now a larger export of the advertiser data. As far as I remember correctly, in the past, this export on the partner side was quite small, just a few columns, which is more or less nothing. And now we are offering a complete range of all columns and fields of the advertiser, which is I think, one of the best improvements in this iteration. So, and I have prepared an example to show you these features. I'm now in a partner which called Maya Maikali. It's the Max Mustermann in Sweden, I think, or Netherlands. And based on my dashboard, I'm now able to go to the advertiser which are not applied yet. Okay, no one is shown here, which told me, okay, I have no advertiser which are not applied. So let me show the active ones. Okay, nice. And let me show the maybe deleted ones, which means, oh, no one deactivated, applied. Ah, this one. I have shown an advertiser which is applied and not active yet, which means, okay, I'm still in the process and I want to be applied, but it's not accepted yet. So with this simple status, we are able to produce a fast track based on the statuses, which means active relationships, not active relationships, or not applied yet. And let me give you an example for the default tracking link, which is possible for active relationship-based advertiser. Maybe you have seen it. The action buttons have changed. So we have now here a copy button, which allows me to grab the default tracking link for this advertiser. And let me use this one. I have clicked on it, and which triggers me or gives me a default link in my clipboard. And now I will be able to use this tracking link. Okay, it will not work, but we have seen I was able to simply use the default tracking link to start the tracking implementation, I would say. Yeah. And the third one was the export. So let me go to the export page. And I will grab now all advertisers from my partner view. And the Advertiser Export here shows me now much more columns than before. As I told you, I remember it was just 4 or 5 columns in the beginning. And now we have, I would say, the complete advertiser object for the partner view. And to give you a better overview, I can show you some columns that we have now. Which is maybe also the default tracking click URL. It's the same column or the same value that I've used before when I grab it from the user interface.
Martin, can you zoom a little bit in?
Oh yeah, sure.
Maybe, yeah, I think, yeah, just to get an idea.
Yeah, so let me say again, thank you to Noria for the feedback. It was nice to have this clear and restricted need, and yeah, it's one good example for the last iteration in Q3.
And I think even some of us learned something about Excel currently, how to transpose columns.
Yeah.
Thank you, Martin. So Martin, you might be able to continue because in the next thing, the slides are more important. So we don't have the context switch time loss. Yeah. So product data feeds, and who will continue here? I'm not sure. Is it Freya? Or is it me? So the Google Shopping feeds. This comes from, this was inspired by Heiko from Belboon, who is also here today. He had constantly a problem. The problem was that when the Google Shopping feed not only contains the price once, but also the shipping price, not only the price of the product, but also the shipping price, our system was not able to map this kind of XML file to process it. And so the idea was here to improve that one, and the solution was that now the system is even more flexible. So it's not only that use case, but it's also the use cases where so each and every XML tag can be in any depth. So that's one thing which happened. The second is that the product data feed API an endpoint was created in the Creatives API, also suggested, I think, not only by Heiko, but also by Nuria from Propelbon, that partners need meta information about their feeds, not only downloading them, but advertisers, I'm sorry, I just said partners. Advertisers need information about the feeds they have. Currently, it was just the user interface, and they needed an API endpoint just to understand how many feeds are there in my network, and is this an XML or CSV feed? Is it compressed? When was it downloaded the last time? And so basic information. Now this endpoint is there. So if you head over to the documentation of the API, you will find in Creatives a new endpoint for that, which might help you to figure out cases where you have more than only one advertiser in your network and you want to understand what you have in there. Yeah. Martin, you can continue. I think the next one is also with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Here, this comes from our colleagues from Efficats from South America. They have a partner who has an account with Affluent.io. Affluent.io is a SaaS solution where publishers can put in their credentials for many networks, not only public networks, but also private networks like Ingenious. So, and this Affluent.io can collect data across different networks and present it in dashboards and make it processable. There are other systems like Affluent. I think we have also FJet, and in Germany, in France and Germany, we can track, and there are other systems who can do that. We started with Affluent because the demand was there. The partner of Efficats wanted our data in Affluent. So what we did is directly working with the Affluent team that the partner exports are understood by the Affluent team. So now there is an official connector to Affluent. Affluent, by the way, was acquired by Impact Radius, I think 3 months ago, but that does not change their mission and the offering they have. So we are completely fine with having this system working with our data. So it's primarily focused to partners, this integration. Martin, and you can reach out to Affluent, or you can tell your partners to reach out for Affluent if they have higher requirements for different networks than the Ingenious system currently has. If you have other systems who you think make sense, and you have the real use case of partners requesting you for other integrations, just reach out. You know how. I told you the channels we have. You can also directly create a ticket and just tell us what the requirement is, and we can figure it out. It gets easier the more integrations we have, and we went through the process, and yeah, so feel free. Looking forward, Martin, and I think we have more integrations.
Yes, and let me hand over, please. Yeah. Because I want to speak about unified conversions, which is one of my beloved projects this year, I would say. It's about combining our two different models coming from trail and finance into one unified one. What does it mean? Maybe you already have realized or seen, or you have seen it, that we have two different systems running in the back end, and we are giving you, persons who need to consume the data, this complexity, which means you need to know the trail model and you need to know the finance model of a conversion. And based by historically reasons, they are a little bit different. And now we are spending time and energy and love to combine them into one model, which allows you to consume just once, more or less simple, but not that complicated as it now is. But you can now consume one model, or you will be able to consume one model of the conversion data that contains the best from both sides, I would say. Yeah, so it will make your life easier, I would say, and at least also the new beloved billing status, which is not a physical status, but this information will also help you, because we will introduce now, or with this iteration, the information which invoice and which payout is related to your conversion, which means you can now understand, is there a conversion which is still unbilled or unpaid, or is there a conversion which is paid in this payout? We don't have this status on the conversion side, just on the invoice and payout side, but now we want to bring this in the conversion model to make this quite easier. And in the system, we already have the information, and it's time to give this to you. So I'm really happy that we work on this and give us the opportunity to, to make a review of the last 8-9 years. And I really hope it will also help you to consume your conversion data in a more easier way than now.
Martin, something from my side, because I'm watching this project more from the outside. I love this project, but I'm waiting for the results as our customers might wait. My perspective on this is a normal use case where I have the commission calculated for a partner, but I also want to have the customer journey. I don't only want the winning partner. You just want to know how this conversion happened. And currently I have to look into different areas. Not only I have to look into different UIs, but also when I use the APIs or the data warehouse, I have two different perspectives on the same conversion. That is something which is for me a killer, that I can have the customer journey with all touch points historically, and I can have the winner. And if I use multi-touch attribution, I have the multiple winners where the finance system calculated. So this is the holistic view I really love to have in future, which also will allow us to build a new user interface where you can go back and just say, okay, I know something was calculated, but just show me how this conversion was, what history it has. Additionally, the data from tracking was traditionally very rich in terms of device detection, bots, spiders, timing. So there we have a lot of information sitting there in tracking, in the tracking area, where about about ITP, ETP, cookies drop. So we have a lot of metadata sitting around, and currently I think it was hard to access them, and it will get easier with this project. Just my outside view on your project, and yeah.
And I would also say
I can't wait for it.
And I would also say the tracking tests will be more easier now, because you will have the problem of, also the second part of the process chain, the finance rating, may produce errors that you're not able to see. And now, or with this project, you will see your track conversion, and later so-called error event for this conversion. So you will at least see the conversion, and then maybe later a rated event or an error event for this conversion, which will help you for sure for the tracking test implementation.
Yeah, that also means, which is a novel, which is something completely new in Ingenious, that you can also analyze unattributed conversions. So there is a lot of value in conversions where no winner could be found, where no partner could be attributed, because for everyone who understands what I'm saying is there is something in it. There is revenue. There is a reason why something could not be attributed. It might be that the integration is not first party. It might be that something is wrong implemented on the partner side. It might be something is wrong implemented on the advertiser side. It might be a configuration issue. But if conversions cannot be attributed, some of the reasons are fixable. and some not. Maybe some of them are like the device was so dramatically changed and that we could not identify, not even with, I don't know, fingerprinting or something else, or everything was disabled in terms of that. But I just wanted to say that until now it was hard to understand which conversions are not attributed and why. Because we just focused on attributed conversions where winners could be found. And the tracking of Ingenious is so flexible that we also have so many conversions which cannot be attributed. And I think this is a treasure for everyone who now operates maybe on behalf of an advertiser who is an advertiser. Like if you're a performance network, an agency, or an advertiser or a portal, I mean, we have everyone here today. I think there is a lot of value in understanding also what could not be attributed. Okay, Martin.
Thank you.
I'm too excited. That one is on me. That's my project. So here I am deeper than Martin and everyone else. I want to simply, or we want to simplify tracking, as you know, with plugins. The order of plugins is something very political, and everyone has a different opinion which plugin we should start with. We figured out with having several inputs with several customers and also looking into the complexity about how a plugin, how complex a plugin is. We started with the WooCommerce plugin. It might be that you say WooCommerce does not make sense for your target group, which is okay. Because we also will continue with the learnings we have here. The plugin in WooCommerce competes with other plugins which are already built by customers of ours. But we think that because we know the technology, we think we can come up with something where there is additional benefit. First of all, we have the Novum. I mean, it's the very first time that Ingenious opens the Ingenious brand to the outside. That's something what we are currently avoided for a decade. For 8 years, we avoided that Ingenious is visible to the outside. Everything was white label. Everything is running on the domain of the customer, and Ingenious is not a brand to be shown outside. But with the plugins, we feel like it's okay. That our customer, when they want to use the plugin with their advertisers, if you are an agency or you are a performance network, it might be okay that Ingenious pops up as a brand. So we are making baby steps into that direction to continue with the outside world, like the Affluent connector and the WooCommerce plugin. It's all about the Ingenious brand. We can't do this white label. It's not possible within the WordPress plugin ecosystem or within Affluent to have something white labeled. But basically we have in our core, in our mission statement, that everything should be white labeled, and now it's the first time to break that rule. We hope that still the value is higher than the risk for you to expose that you're using the Ingenious system. The plugin itself, we are working hard to have as much as possible quality in there. So we are trying to dig deep into the plugin ecosystem of WooCommerce and understand how we can ensure it's as much as possible first party, as much as possible cookie-less, and as much as needed cookie-based. So there is enough to tell, but I think you got the point. It will land in October. We are very far with it, but it will have a phase where it gets mature. And we also need to understand the update system of WordPress. So what if we have an update, how we should communicate with you, that you communicate with your customers, because as far as I know, there is no auto update. So customers have to become active. They have to update the plugin. So it might be that also we need to discuss together how we inform you and you inform your customers, because Ingenious typically doesn't have direct access to your customers if you are a portal or you are an agency or you are a performance network. I mean, if you are an advertiser, I have Jinwoo here from SoPlus, then it's easy because you are directly our user and we can talk directly to you. That's easy. Okay.
So then, next slide. Oh. Partner marketing.
Okay. This is now the, I mean, you can now relax more. This is about our podcast, and the podcast is primarily in German language. I apologize if someone wants to know more in English. Just tell us that we should do more in English. Currently, the feedback was it's fine if that it's in German, because we had primarily German guests. The last bigger episode we have had, which I can recommend to you, is a aggregation or a collection of the last year. So our podcast became 1 year. It started during the pandemic, and we have recurring listeners, and we hope that also you have topics you want us to discuss. It might be that this is a discussion inside of the team. I mean, I was interviewed by Tobias all about data warehouses and technology, but we also have external guests. And if you want to be a guest here, it's a channel for you to promote also your business and your beliefs. And we are very happy to host and organize and ensure the quality, and also ensure that it's the way you want it. So if you feel brave to expose yourself to a podcast, which is not something for everyone, just reach out for the team, and we are happy to assist you that you get a voice also with our target audience, which is typically more than just customers. We have the target audience is broader. It's just a more marketing space. Okay, Martin. Yeah, Martin, do you want to, because you were with Idealo, you were at the climate event. Maybe you tell us something about that. But with the affiliate conference, I think I saw some of you there. We had a affiliate conference club meeting where Christian was talking, and I mean, it was, as you know, it was a lot of regulation, a lot of changes in the law in Germany. It was very focused on that. Here also, if you have any questions, any doubts about the technology and the combination to law, we are not lawyers. We can't advise you to what to do, but we can share our knowledge with other customers we have in that space. From the IPMA, that's the right upper part, we are currently waiting until Monday to understand if Ingenious wins one of the prizes of the IPMA. We have 2 stories in there. One is with our friends Belboon, because Belboon had the migration of their public network software to the Ingenious platform last year in May, June 2020. And we wrote about the story, about the achievements, and maybe also the challenges of the future. And we are shortlisted in the category of best technology, I think, best performance marketing technology. And the second award is with Artifact and our customer Chivo, where they describe from the perspective of an agency who switches from Awin to Ingenious, and with their customer and very big publishers like Schub and Deutschlandcard and others, and the experience they had in efficiency improvements and also in reduction of conversion requests, or as you know it, in transaction queries, I think it's called. It's Nachbuchungen. So when a cashback portal needs something, so they had a dramatic reduction when they start using first party, and they started to have more qualitative tracking, and that was a great story. I had a podcast with the Affiliate Talks team about everything, about data, and my perspective on data warehouses, and also how to start with it. I think it was a very broad overview. And the team was very nice to me because they tried to really understand what I'm talking about, and I tried to not go into much technical details. It was fun. Last topic is the Partner Marketing Summit. Here I want to remind you that we have a free event. We recurrently, so it's the second time we are doing it, we have a special influencer edition. We have very special guests. It's not about Ingenious anymore there. It's about influencer marketing with real experts, because Ingenious is not an expert in doing partner marketing and doing affiliate marketing. We're just the experts in building the technology for it. But here you will find people from the industry who really worked with influencers and know in which areas you find them, which technologies they use, what their requirements is. And yeah, I just can recommend to you to invest some time. And I think we can send out the link, or you can also search for it on the website. When we send out the slides, you will also have the link to this. Vanessa, do you think there is another way that people can find the Partner Marketing Summit registrations? I think it's on LinkedIn.
It's on LinkedIn. I'm just looking for the link. I'm sending it
to this. Put it into this chat. If you would add it to this chat, everyone can grab it and maybe forward it to a colleague. It's free for everyone except your time, because your time is needed.
Okay. It is in German though, and it's happening next Thursday, so in just a week.
Okay. Martin.
Yeah, let me say something about this climate demo. Honestly, at the beginning I was skeptisch, but Idealo really is committed by her to this topic. Really, the complete company was on the road, and thank you to Vanessa and Sabina for the invitation. And it really makes a difference when you say something or do you do something, or you attend to something. It's really a commitment when you walk together with thousands of people, and it was really a nice feeling, and the atmosphere was great. And I was proud at the end. Yeah, it was a good event, but it's just one event. It's not the solution. And yeah. But thank you to Vanessa and Sabina for the investigation and the invitation.
And thank you for Idealo for organizing it. I felt it was not only great because of the cause, like walking for climate change, or not for climate change, but for the change in the government regarding climate change, but also doing something with our partners. It's not only that we work together, it's that we're making a change together.
Yeah,
that's good. So,
Martin, what's the next slide? I think now it's the everyone is afraid slide at Ingenious. So
because of the anything, yeah.
Because of the anything. I mean, why not? We have time, and we rushed through some topics. Maybe someone has questions about what we presented, because we didn't give much space for questions about each and every topic you presented and I presented. We can go back, and if someone has questions. And afterwards, I mean, maybe there are some questions where everyone is interested. So I can remind you that you can also talk directly with us if you have anything special. So we can schedule something to discuss. But maybe you think that something which might be interested to every customer and also every Ingenious employee should be brought up. If you see a trend where Ingenious is not following, if you think there is a bigger topic where Ingenious is not saying something or doesn't have an answer, you should inform us, and maybe that's a way to do this. So who wants to start? I know that Katerina is not shy, so I can always ask Katerina to start, but maybe someone else wants to do it. If there is any question, if everything was clear and you are happy, that was the nicest way to discuss with 21 customers, 21 people from customers.
Ja, ich kann ja mal starten.
Yes.
Vielleicht fühlen sich dann alle angenehmer und fuller. Vielleicht ganz kurz nochmal zu dem, sorry, I do it in English, of course. Back to the topic of, I saw it for the first time now. I didn't recognize it before, that we have a default tracking link now on the partner website, on the publisher account site. And when a partner uses this default tracking link, do I see everything I need in the statistics later? So because it's a default tracking link, I can see which ad media was used or something like this. Do I understand it in the right way?
Yes, there is the requirement or the prerequisite for the default link to be shown is that the advertiser enables the deep link functionality. So when the advertiser enables deep linking, then there is one creative or ad media created as a deep link. And this is the link which the partner uses then. So you will see in the statistics a creative which is called deep link. And this is where every traffic is running through. The partner or the publisher can always attach also sub-IDs. So when they have their default sub-IDs configured in the creative system, these sub-IDs are also attached. The default target link is the link of the advertiser, like the homepage of the advertiser. So whatever is in the advertiser profile defined as the homepage, that's the default target of this default link. So we know that not every use case is covered with this, but we just wanted to support our network customers who operate a performance network, that at least there is a link for the more simple use cases of a publisher just wanting to grab a link for an advertiser and put it on their website. If they want to go deeper, they go to the creatives area or to the product feed area and grab more detailed links. Yeah.
It's the hello world link, yeah? So you can say
does that answer your question first?
Yes, of course.
Okay, great.
I have another question. I guess it was Martin who mentioned it at the beginning, about the thing that you can differentiate between existing partnerships and not. Maybe you can show this in the the system here, because I remember before it was not possible for the advertisers to see, for the publishers to see where they already have a relationship with.
Exactly, that's the idea, to have this differentiation. And so I can now choose the, let me say, just applied advertiser, and I only have one advertiser in my list with an application, also in Bewerbung. And this was not possible before.
Yeah, I think the main use case is show me advertiser I'm not applied to and sort them by start date. So what are the new advertisers in the system where I'm not applied to? I think that's...
Unfortunately, my example has no not applied advertiser here in this view, but...
You are applied, you are a very broad publisher applying to every advertiser. Okay.
Everybody's done.
It's like Heiko in the building system. And Katharina, we also have the direct link. So if you have active, so Martin is showing the menu of the partner side, Martin, and you have applied relationship, active relationship, Martin, just you're flipping around. So you have also the direct menu point to not, so the publisher doesn't need to play around with filters, but there is a direct entry to advertisers where the publisher did not apply to it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you so far.
Welcome. Great. Is anyone else having a question?
I have a question to Martin. I'm very interested in the new data model for conversions. I think you know why.
Obviously.
question is, how can I access the new data model only your data warehouse or also your the API in the future?
Yeah, for sure. It's in Insights, which means the data model, when you roll it out, will be available via the data warehouse. But this is not just for our customers, it's just also for us, the unified model, which we want to use for all of our further applications and user interfaces. So little by little, this model will replace all other old or classic presentations or perspectives of conversions.
Yeah, my expectation, Heiko, is also the moment we have it, we also have to change internal systems that they just use this model and not the combination of tracking and conversions from finance. And so the finance API, for example, or the Insights API, you can expect should have this conversion information, because then the model is very accessible. So we have it internally and we can come up with the API. I think it will be on the Insights API, where you can grab the conversions as you can today on the finance API. But on the finance API currently, you just have the commissions and not the customer journeys. So to answer the question shortly, yes, but not through the finance and not through the tracking API, but in a unified way in the Insights API.
Okay.
Yeah. A great question, by the way. I mean, everyone wants us to do the work and just leverage on it. And I think also in future, it might be interesting also to have a limited view on this unified model, limited, but still unified for publishers. If they can see, if a publisher, for example, has more than one touch point, and you can hide all other touch points from other partners, but maybe they see that they had 3 or 4 touch points and one of them won. And this might also be, depends on the business model you have, but this might be a game changer for publishers to work with your system because they have this insights. Yeah.
And let me say, there's one more thing about this. It's not just the model that we want to unify, we also unify the complete process chain behind, which means the behavior of validation, the behavior of how a number of formats needs to be submitted, and which parts is made in tracking, which part is made in finance. All of this is now part of a unification process, and this really should reduce this barriers that you feel when you do tracking tests, when you do a conversion, and later you see a different behavior than before. All of this should be reduced. This is the idea of this project.
Yeah. For example, the webhooks, the partner webhooks are one area which might benefit from this. That we have more data, also tracking related data available in the webhooks, for example. So this is a nice addition to this. Okay. Yeah. Something else? Is there for something we presented or not presented? Something where you expected us to work or to talk about, which we didn't talk about, or maybe you have a suggestion about our communication style. Is this okay with the release notes and with the newsletter and this meeting we have here? Do you feel you are informed? Do you get sometimes disrupted by not disrupted, but überrascht? What is the word of überrascht?
Right.
Surprised by information coming too late. So maybe you have also general advice for us how we could do this better. Yeah. I mean, you can also tell us anything in that sense.
We will do so.
Okay. Okay. So closing remarks. Yes, we will have a Q4 in the beginning of the year. We know that not everyone is in there in the beginning of the year, so we will delay it a little bit so that everyone is back from vacation time and Christmas. And we definitely will have a shorter quarter because of the holidays and because now the season begins, the Christmas season. I mean, it began, I think, before, but we won't do the biggest changes which are risky or something in the system during that time. So we will a little bit slow down. That's just related to tracking and finance. So we will continue to work in other areas, like we showed you the plugin area, and integrations area is currently very demanding because you guys, you are working very hard to grow. And that also means that you put a lot of pressure on us in integrations. That's currently what we are experiencing, that you want our data, or your customers want our data to be somewhere else than in the Ingenious system. This is challenging. It also goes with the MMPs, like mobile measurement partner. Mobile tracking is coming more and more also to our customers. And so, yeah, we are actively also working there. We didn't mention it here because it's not landing, but we are currently integrating with AppsFlyer. We already did a little bit, and it's just in alpha. That's why it's too early to tell. So we have currently the Adjust integration and are extending to AppsFlyer. But as you can tell, we have enough tickets about branch and button and all other mobile integrations. And yeah, the same tickets we have in the area of shop plugins. Everyone wants a different shop to be integrated. So I just can hope that you understand that we can't work on everything in parallel, focusing on quality and just trying to solve for more than one customer at the same time something. So we're trying to get the input. And so it really makes sense to give that input. If you want your voice to be heard, take the time, please, to write down what you think is missing. It really changes. I can tell that everyone here who had the experience of telling us something and asking us some things also had the experience that we solved it and we did it. You might also have the experience that you asked us to do something and we were not doing it, or maybe doing it later than you expected. But I hope that everyone who ever asks something also got the experience that we solved it. So you have both experiences, hopefully more solving than just waiting. But please be open and tell us what you think is needed. Otherwise, we just build technology for technology, which is not the goal.
Thank you, Simak. It was a great thing.
Okay. With that, I thank you for your time. I think that's the most.
I have one question,
thank you,
please.
Heiko?
What?
Sorry. I have a question about GDPR and consent string for the partners and advertisers. There are any outstanding tasks and issues of our side between?
You mean if there is something outstanding on our side?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, GDPR and consent is not only about TCF 2.0. Yes, not everyone commits to TCF. So our perspective on this is that there is nothing open on our side, because mostly it's about CMPs and mostly it's about restructuring the website of the publisher and restructuring the page of the advertiser. When someone commits to TCF, it gets easier because we have the standard implementation. If someone does not commit to TCF, then they have to figure out in their CMP when and if to integrate the tracking pixels. From the perspective of the law, we think that we have all options in place for the minimum tracking needed. As you know, you don't have to send us personal identifier PIDs if you don't want. And the moment you start using more cookie-less options, which are available at Ingenious, so you can use the bounceless tracking with your partners, avoiding the redirect and the cookie. And you can also use the click IDs to send us server-to-server conversions. So you can reduce your cookie, let's say, usage. And the German law, at least, is currently focused more on cookies, but it's also open how much tracking you can do. This is the part of the law where I think I can't give you much advice, but we are prepared technically to reduce when your customer is also working with you, to reduce the cookie usage to a minimum, even to 0 if you want. That is something. There is an edge case. If you really don't want to use a cookie, then you might have also problem for tracking opt-out, which is a different thing, because for tracking opt-out of your customer, you still need to tag the browser of the customer that they want to tag out opt-out. Not everyone is using do not track, and the browsers are not sending do not track very reliably, and the customers do not know do not track parameter very good. However, Heiko, is there something specific? I mean, your question was very broad. If there is something open, do you have something in mind where we might miss something or not understand?
Ich bin nicht sicher, ob ich das auf Englisch
okay.
kann. Deshalb würde ich es gerne mal kurz im Deutschen machen. Nee, ich würde nur kurz wissen, ob dieses Feature jetzt schon für alle Partner freigeschalten ist, dass sie diese Makros sozusagen verwenden können. Ich glaube, das war noch nicht der Fall. Wir hatten das nur für einzelne Partner bei uns aktiviert, weil wir würden das Thema gern bei uns auf die Agenda nochmal packen. Wir sind da irgendwie ein bisschen stehen geblieben an der Stelle. Deswegen habe ich gefragt, ob von eurer Seite war das, glaube ich, soweit vorbereitet.
Okay, let me translate that. So Heiko's question was if this functionality of TCF 2.0, so having the GDPR consent and consent string coming from the publisher partner, is just available for a limited set of partners, or if it's general available. The functionality is general available, Heiko, so everyone can use it. The current solution is that the partner has to opt in with every ad space. So the partner has to go in and opt in that this ad space is sending GDPR strings, because with committing to send it, we also have strategies what to do if then the consent is not there. So it's not that you have to switch for all partners. It's also you don't have to switch for every ad space, but it's on ad space level. That was the feedback we got from our customers, that this should be enough for a partner to decide then that maybe on one ad space they are ready, and on the other they are not ready. So if you enabled it in your network, and I'm sure, I know Belboon did it. Belboon even has their own vendor ID, which you can also enter in Ingenious. So your partners, everyone can use it, but they have to think about it when they really can send the consent per ad space.
I have looked if it is possible for all partners in the UI. I think it's not possible in the moment, but it's a rule, I think, we will activate.
Heiko, one addition from my side. Let's talk about it the next week. Yes. I would bring you to the current state. We already have customers which actively use it. So partner working in a restricted mode. So we have experience. So, and we can go through it together.
That's a good idea. Yes, thanks.
Okay, and small addition from my side as well about cookieless tracking and GDPR. So we are introducing a session ID at the moment. We actually we have deployed this functionality, but not documented it yet. It's a kind of replacement for customer ID. Less personal, but should help on some cases where customer ID seems to be too vulnerable, something like it. So we expect that session ID should get more acceptance in this guide.
Yeah, I think my plan was to put that into the next community event, the tracking updates. I mean, it's a great preview you gave, but I think when we have also the use cases, I think everyone else can understand. There are very interesting use cases where tracking currently relies on too much work from the advertiser side, especially when it's cookieless. I mean, it's possible today, but it's sometimes not, some data is not available in every process step. For example, when customer signs up and you want to track also the steps in between, it might get confusing because you don't have the customer ID in the right moment. And customer ID is currently one way for cookieless creation of customer journeys. I would love to have a diagram on this so everyone knows what I'm talking about. Otherwise, it gets really confusing for the people. Yeah, that's my statement. Okay. Guys, it's not the last moment you can ask us. I think you can reach out to us. Just look at the ways you feel more comfortable. I think we learned with the pandemic that no one is really taking the phone anymore in their hands. So it's more about Zoom, Hangout, and other virtual. So you can still call us, but write us, call us, create a ticket, and just push us into the right direction. I think that's important for us. Great. So thank you, everyone. Have a nice evening. The record of the community call, the community day will be available. And hopefully at some point we also have a YouTube playlist about the 2 community days we had. And at some point there are more than 2 in it. So it will get richer and richer. Thank you for being here. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.